All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash. I want to say apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to you sincere. I came out there pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. And just wanted to bring out a couple of precepts through the Spirit, just make something quick. Because we're coming up to the age where, as we can see, the comment section, it's just being flooded. You got people in there with sincere questions. You got sincere people who, they might be supporters of the ministry, or they might be, whatever. The listeners, they haven't, built up enough confidence to come out to the highways and byways, or whatever the case is. But then, we have people on there who are not sincere, right? And one thing about it, because one thing the scriptures does is it quiets a lot of noise, in your mind, because the heart is deceitful, we know, of course, but with the word of the Lord, it's supposed to the scriptures talk about study to be quiet, so a lot of the bullshit, a lot of your personal demons or whatever you're dealing with, a lot of that is quieted because, we know the keys to doing that, whether it be prayer, whether it be fasting, whether it be getting amongst brothers and, receiving counseling on certain things. And that's the beauty of having access to, the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, now I'm going to just read this one. So, this is Sirach 27. I don't know how the hell I forgot so fast. This is Sirach 27 and 7. It says, "Praise no man before thou hearest him speak, for this is the trial of men." And one thing you're noting, because the brothers are pushing, the truth, pushing the truth. If you see a brother do a video, even if the video you feel like it wasn't all that great, still like the video, still show support for the brother, support yourself, support the ministry, because it does help, different people see it. When people look up certain subjects or trying to find out more information on it, or they want the truth, if every brother, even if they're not in your camp and you like it or whatever, then that'll help push that video to the top so that the elect can be edified. All right, one thing you notice, and I'm trying to get to a point, everybody has a podcast now. Everybody has a story, because those sinews are coming back on the bones. All of the things that people are wondering is coming out. And so what they're doing is they're going to the information grab, which is the internet. They're going through processing Egyptology, processing what they're saying, history, facts, common knowledge. They're processing it, and none of that stuff is really it's not making any noise. Right? But what it is making the noise, what we're doing, what the Israelites are doing. The spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has it so that Esau has to come out in the media and try to demonize our name. These different governments, they have to try to demonize, whatever camp you're with. They're going to play games. They're going to try to push you to a new spot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is the time where, brothers become rooted because, like I said, everybody has a podcast. Everybody wants to tell their story, which is cool. Sometimes you might want to hear that if it's somebody of interest, but the scriptures talk about, let everything be done to edify, pertaining to the Bible, pertaining to the men who preach the Bible. And that's what it's about, man. Praise no man before thou hearest him speak. Don't give these people a pass just because they're famous. And that's a huge mistake that a lot of our people make. Somebody's famous, they're on TV, they're on the radio, and they get a pass. In the past, they could just kind of ride that. They could go platinum because, they were signed to a label and they could gain access to certain media through Esau. Now, everybody has access to the same devices, to the same media, and everybody has access to the same devices, Salakia, to the same devices and the same media, and it's that all of that stuff is starting to fall. You can see people's pictures, you can see their day-to-day routine, you can see their mindset. When they do an interview, they have to answer questions now. All right, and this is something that is going on with Esau too. They can no longer ride that wave of trying to dress everything up and put a suit on and just making it look good with their empire. Now they have to answer questions. Now they have to start. They're under review. You got people who do reviews too. The same is for the men of the Lord. Everything we're doing is going to be under review, which brings me to the next scripture. It's Sirach 4:25. It said, "In no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed." Hold up, Salaki. Is that the one? That's the one I was looking for, Salaki. That's not it. I must not have pulled it up, Salaki. But anywho, it said, "In no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed of error of thine ignorance." Exactly. And that's something that we're supposed to do too. That's something that Jake is supposed to do, man. Don't speak against the truth. All right. That's why when we see these Jakes and they might be an entertainer or whatever they're doing, we might speak on it, speak on the things that they had to do to get there. But once they come out and they talk about the truth, or they talk about how they feel about the Israelites, then that's ultimately what happens. So it's very important, what comes out of us, the things that we confess and the things that we say, and it's important for Jake too. All right. So I have one more scripture real quick. All right, because that podcast spirit is heavy, man. It seems like everybody's getting a podcast because all you need, is a little studio. You got your camera. You can kind of set up the equipment or whatever. You have a little room or whatever. And you can just talk. You can have little guests on your show and stuff. So, but what we're doing is not a podcast. What we're doing is what the Lord required us in the scriptures. The scriptures talk about wisdom crieth out in the streets. That's what we're doing. In the chief place of concourse. It's Galatians 1:10. It said, "For do I now persuade men or the Most High? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet pleased men, I should not be the servant of Yahweh Shai." Hey, and that's ultimately what's going to happen, man. Because if the Lord wants you, and this is a scary thing, this is why spiritual power is so strong. If the Lord wants you, He's going to choose you. He's going to plant that seed. He's going to give you those talents. All right. So ultimately, we're not trying to persuade men. Ultimately, it said, "But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached to me is not after man." Yeah. So, all of these different things that are coming out, ADOS, and all of these different subgroups of hearing Jake talk, and some old school Jake, you can listen and you can pick off certain pieces of information, and it's beautiful. But at the end of the day, this is not something that was given from men. This is something that was created from the Heavenly Father on down, which is higher than the ways of men. All right, so it's just a quick one, man. I had to get it off my chest, man, because that comment section, man, it's a huge stumbling block for a lot of people. You go in there, you see somebody write something, and and don't let that, unless it's the support of the gospel, don't even let that sway you. Continue to focus, continue to watch the videos. If you're watching, you're not near a camp, try to get to a camp. If you can't get to a camp, you might have to start prophesying by yourself, or you might have to contact the nearest camp, and then build, and that person will try to build you up to the best of their ability through the Spirit. All right, call hello Yahweh Yahweh Shai, Lord willing is edifying, Shalom.